city of Philly, where the birds take flight. Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Fly guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. Fly like an eagle soars in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soars in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
My bad. Had it on loop.
I would have let it go again. I would have let it rock.
Oh my God.
Y'all know the vibes.
What's going on?
Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channels. Pro Fan Talk, Chalk It Up Sports. This is the Bald Eagles podcast. He's Marcus Thomas, aka Coach Marcus. I'm your guy, Tone. This is the second. You guys know how we carry it here. You feel what I'm saying? So make sure you guys stay active. Keep hitting that like button, man. I'm always looking forward to chatting with you guys each and every single week. Tuesday, what is it? 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 p.m. Mountain, and 5:30 p.m. Pacific. And if you're in Hawaii, hey, you're on your own. Hey, Marcus, what's going on, big dog?
Man, it's all good, bro. It's all good. Been a busy week, man. Trying to stay on top of what's going on with the Eagles. And then the Sixers failed again, and then the Flyers failed again, but the Flyers overachieved, so I was happy for them. And then WNBA season is in full tilt, so I got the game on my other monitor right here, trying to see what's going on, man. So it's been busy for me. Busy for me, man. Had my channel audited.
Really?
Yeah. I use vidIQ, and I had them audit my channel, so went through, the program looks at your analytics and all that kind of stuff, and it basically just writes you a report, what you should be focusing on, like which videos did the best, kind of like, hey, these videos got your best response. You should do more like that. So that sort of thing. So I'm trying to follow that step and trying to get more into like the creative aspect of it. Like, all of my videos now, I'm doing a lot more shorts now. And I'm trying to do more with visual hooks and things of that nature.
Okay.
So trying to use different camera angles. I shot a video today where it was about basketball. So I went out in the back. I put my tripod on my picnic table, so it was above me. Took a couple of snapshots. Then I went and got a picture of a basketball rim, but from above it. So you're looking down through the hoop. So when I took the picture, I superimposed myself in the picture. So it looks like I took a picture of myself through the hoop, and I'm looking up. So just like I'm trying to step my creative up when it comes to stuff like this, dude. So
hey, listen, y'all hear this?
Y'all hear this, man.
Y'all hear this? Y'all see what I got to deal with?
Nerd, bro. I'm a nerd.
No, listen, man. I always respect the creativity and the ingenuity for sure, man. Way above scope for me.
Yo, I did figure out on my stream last night. I did figure out in OBS how to get the chat window in OBS.
Okay.
With the goal being eventually, if I can get everything on OBS and not have to use StreamYard, that's what I would want to do.
See, I'm not there yet. I'm still, I still only use OBS when I'm just recording offline.
Yeah.
I haven't figured out the online portion of it yet. I'm not comfortable with it. So.
Yeah, well, OBS can connect with YouTube just like StreamYard does, but you just have more control over it.
And that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah. Now that control can get a little bit confusing because like it's a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
This is a lot of stuff. It's like playing Flight Simulator, man. You got buttons everywhere. So, speaking of Flight Simulator, man, shout out to my nephew Daniel, man. That's my twin sister's boy, Daniel. He is a pilot in the Navy flying C-110s.
Ooh, come on now.
If you don't know what a C-110 is, if you've seen any of them Transformers movies, if you saw the first Transformer movie when Tyrese was like, bring the rain, and that big ass plane flipped on the side and started firing them big ass bullets, that's a C-110. That's the C-110. That's the plane. He's not flying any weapons. So he is a legitimate pilot. Shout out to Daniel Wilson, man. I love you, brother. Proud of you. And yeah, he's the real deal. Dropping tanks out of the back of the plane and whatnot.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So, I mean, look, we got a lot to get into. Yes. This schedule release has, well, the official schedule release is in what, Thursday? Until Thursday?
Yeah.
So it's Thursday. All right. So, but you know, as the week progresses, we always get the leaks.
We getting the slow drip.
Right. And I'm at this point now where we might as well just stop calling them leaks.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? A leak is a leak is unintentional or unintentional, whatever word it is.
This is controlled information.
This is controlled spoon feeding.
Yeah.
This is controlled preview.
Exactly.
Like, it always cracks me up when I see people say schedule leaks. No, this is all intentional.
Correct.
This is all simply just build up towards the big release. So, look, regardless, Eagles, Cowboys, Thanksgiving, that should be fun.
Facts.
That should be really fun. Did they say where it's going to be played at?
It's my understanding that it's in Dallas.
Of course it is. Of course it is. But it doesn't really matter much to me. Rain, sleet, or snow. Eagles trying to go. And the word is they also have the Jags in London. Well, Tottenham to be specific. Tottenham.
Man, I do not listen. They NFL trying to make that money, man. So they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, that means the game is gonna be what, at 9 in the morning, 8 in the morning?
Yeah, something like that, man. And you know what? We can't be mad at it and then be happy that we got, UR and Nigerian players and people from the, other countries playing on our teams. And like, you can't be mad at it and then, root for Jordan Mailata. You know what I'm saying? So we got to take the good with the bad. This is how they grow in the game. And it clearly is working. So they got to do what they got to do. I'm with you. I don't like them playing at 9 o'clock in the morning, but I know how it is. They're going to be over there for a week and a half. By that time, they should be adjusted to the time, but still, do we have to lose another home game?
I mean, look, it's a couple things with it, right? One, you get it out the way early. You get to enjoy the rest of your day. You get to watch guilt-free football for the rest of the day.
Yes.
Another thing is, to your point, the league is growing. You're seeing players from all over the place coming to the league, making an impact. Guys from the Polynesian Islands, you got guys from New Zealand, Australia making an impact in the game, guys from Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon. Notice I didn't say Africa because Africa is the lazy thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
I want to name countries so people understand that Africa isn't just a monolith. You have people from different countries,
right,
in Africa. Right?
Africa's big.
You feel what I'm saying? The Ivory Coast, Niger, South Africa, Zimbabwe. The game has grown. Uwar Bernard, Nigeria.
Yeah.
So, we can't, like you said, you got to take the good with the bad. The branding for the Eagles just expands, right? And you also got to put in perspective as well. When the Eagles played in Brazil in 2024, when they played in Brazil, that was a big deal.
That was a huge deal.
That was a big deal, and it was a good game.
Yeah, if you remember, I had one of my buddies worked the game. He was one of the cameramen there. He called me. I had him on my podcast. He called me from Brazil. He FaceTimed me. So I saw what was going on. And the one thing that the NFL loves about the international game is everybody gets paid, because there's no home cooking over there. They wearing every shirt, every jersey, every team, anything that they can get their hands on. That's why they like it so much over there. They buy everything because they don't know what they like. They don't know what's what. They don't give a damn if it's the Chiefs or the Dolphins or the Eagles or the Rams or the Colts. They don't care. If it's available, did all the Colts sell out? Then give me one of them Denver shirts or whatever's available, they will buy it. That's why when you go over to them games, I remember the game that they played in London last year. They had every team represented in the stands because it wasn't the teams that were playing. You didn't see their colors anywhere.
Right.
It's just a mix of everything because they buy everything. They just want football. They don't care who it is. So, and that's why I say, when the NFL goes over there, everybody gets paid. So, and watch, mark my words, what they're going to start doing is they're going to start, because they pushing the with the Olympics, they pushing the flag football. They're going to start playing the flag football games over there. That'll be like leading up to the event that is the game. If the game is on Saturday in London, then they might have a game on Friday and a flag football game on Saturday or something like that. But they're going to start pushing that stuff over there, because if it's in the Olympics, that means people in England got teams, people in France got teams. So the whole European fan base gets indoctrinated to the NFL even more. It's all about that money, man. They're going to make that paper.
Follow the bag.
Yes, sir.
Follow the coin purse.
Yes, sir.
At the end of the day, man. So I'm glad we're talking, because a couple things happened. One thing in particular, Eagles restructured Zach Bond's contract a little bit, and they decided to essentially structure in such a way where they have an easy out in the year 2028. Which is interesting. Now, granted, Zach Bond hasn't shown any signs of slowing down whatsoever. But at that point in time, I think he'll be 32?
Yes.
31, something like that. I'm gonna make sure I got it correct here. But at that point in time, when he's an unrestricted free agent, he'll be 32 years old. Yeah. So they've kind of built themselves a way to get out of his contract without taking as big of a cap hit as they maybe would have if they didn't touch it.
Right.
That's Howie Roseman doing Howie Roseman things. Always making sure that he's
couple moves ahead.
That's all. A couple moves ahead, just making sure that he's freeing up money in the right places. Because remember what I told you, the money is starting to shift to that defensive side of the ball. Yeah,
but somebody like him though, I don't really concern myself, because he's going to be on the plus side of 30. So unless he just goes ridiculous, he's going to have to take a pay cut just because of his age. So that puts us in a better situation, because number one, if it's not working, he comes off the books. If it is working, you give him a short contract, give him a nice little bag, and we get that production for another year.
Yeah.
So I think there's a win-win in our situation. And we at the point now where we got guys looking at, do they want to finish here? That's a legitimate question now. A lot of them are going to go get their bag somewhere else, but you also got a lot of them that are looking to finish here. So that gives you hometown discounts, things of that nature. I don't feel like moving. I'm 33 years old. I got a 4-year-old. I got a kid in elementary school, whatever the situation is. I don't feel like uprooting everybody to play a 1-year deal in Denver. I don't want to do that. So I don't want to be away from my kids. There's a lot of things that go into these decisions when you get to the plus side of 30. So that works to our advantage. You got more and more players retiring in their early to mid 30s, because they want to spend their money.
Right.
And live the life. So That landscape has changed a little bit, but it is to our benefit. So, like you said, Howie's going to be doing Howie things. But I think he's always been ahead of the game when it comes to a situation like that. But with the way the landscape is kind of going now, with players doing what they're doing, we're in a good spot.
I agree 100%. And I also think they're just in a good spot personnel-wise on defense. And who's to say Howie Roseman won't put this defense in an even better position after next year's draft and so on and so forth? You never know. I mean, to land on a guy in Jonathan Grenard, I mean, at this point in his career, in his prime, who's motivated, who's well taken care of financially, you got a guy who's hungry, and you got a guy who's a leader, and a guy who's going to bring accountability to a defense that already has it. But it's nothing wrong with adding just that extra level of there's nothing wrong with having that extra adult in the room.
Correct.
You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Your defense is young. Your defense is still relatively young. They played a lot of football, though. They played a lot of playoff games amongst all of them. Those second and third year guys have gotten some real playoff experience. Queen Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jalen Carter, all those young guys who are still on the rookie sides of their contracts. Those guys have a ton of experience, more experience than the average player. At their point in their career. You bring Jonathan Grenard and a guy who's hungry, a guy who hasn't really touched the level of success these young guys have already tasted at this point in their careers. Howie Roseman just finds ways to bring people into the building who are motivated, who check all the boxes from a production standpoint, from an accountability standpoint, from a leadership standpoint. Howie Roseman is just a master roster builder. Now, will the outcome always be exactly what you want? No, because there's so many variables that go into it. But I can never go. I haven't gone into a season maybe since 2020, 2019 where I felt like, all right, this roster just can't compete. This roster can't compete. It's been a handful of years since we've said this roster can't compete, and I don't foresee Howie Roseman putting this team in that type of position unless he decides to call it a career.
No. I think his formula and his philosophy is proven. You got people. Howie Roseman has his own tree now. Joe Douglas went out, got a job. Then he came back. Your boy up in Cleveland, he was here for a bit. Now we got his twin brother. Is it Adam Berry? Adam Berry is here now. Andrew Berry's in Cleveland.
Yeah. Andrew's the GM in Cleveland, correct?
Right. So he was here for a minute, learning under Howie. So Howie's got his own tree of people trying to be like him, to be the next Howie Roseman and change the culture in a franchise. And we successfully did that. And he has, I tell you what, man, hindsight being 2020, man, you look at the situation. When you talk about getting in the lab, there should be a picture of Howie Roseman in the dictionary, because when he got sat in the corner from Chip Kelly, he went back to the lab. Nobody bothered him. They thought he was done. They thought he was just hanging around for the money. He went back to the lab and went to work, and he perfected his formula, and he just waited for his opportunity. And when it came back, he made the most of it. And props to Jeffrey Lurie, because Jeffrey Lurie let that happen. So I would imagine he was feeling some kind of way about it. He probably felt like he let Howie down in some way, shape, or form. But we all understand this is the nature of the NFL. It's just business, nothing personal. But he believed enough in him to like, all right, here the keys to the car.
And Howie also had to have some level of trust in Lurie.
Absolutely.
To want to weather the storm. I mean, he could easily take his talents elsewhere because he felt underappreciated.
Absolutely.
Things could very easily be different in terms of just the interpersonal relationships.
Yeah, man.
But how we trusted in Lori's vision. There's what you call there's this godfather slash consigliere relationship between Jeffrey Lurie and Howard Roseman. There's this unwavering trust in the vision. And look, when you outside, you are your brother's keeper.
Absolutely.
When you go in the house, you let them know, hey, you put us in a situation, but I'm always make sure I'm always give you the keys, but hey, so there's this, there's this respect and uncanny trust level that exists between Howard Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie that doesn't exist around the NFL in most places, if not any place.
No,
because most GMs don't have the levity or the they don't have the same margin for improvement or error that Howard Roseman has. He's in a very unique situation, which allows for the Philadelphia Eagles to be able to continuously sustain success and repair any sort of damage that may have been done, or Howard just has such a wide sandbox to play in.
Since the Super Bowl we lost with Donovan, how many times can you remember Jeffrey Lurie getting involved? And I'm not talking about hiring and firing of a
I know what you mean. Just making his voice
correct.
Heard, loud.
How many times has he done that? I can only think of one. I can only think of one time. And that was just recently when he had the meeting with AJ Brown about, stay off social media. Now, you'd have to tell me because I don't remember seeing it, but I would imagine he had a meeting or there was some sort of meeting with him, Donovan, and T.O. when that was going on. Because that was embarrassing for the organization. So I would imagine he got involved there. So that's 2 times. And I'm thinking of something else that like I don't remember seeing him in the limelight a lot. I know there's probably other instances, but I can't really think of them, which means even if he was, it wasn't anything, I don't know, for lack of a better word, groundbreaking. It's not like Jerry Jones being in front of the mic or even your girl, what's the girl, Ursay from Indianapolis, when some of the stuff her dad was doing was off the chain.
Mm-hmm.
But you got these people that are always in the mix and always trying to be out in front a little bit too much. And now it's very easy to tell what not to do.
Because you want to know the difference between some of those guys who have to be in the limelight, who have to be heard, versus a guy like Jeffrey Lurie.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey Lurie lets the organization speak for him.
Correct.
He lets the culture, he lets the infrastructure, he lets the personnel decisions, he lets the executive decisions, he lets the win-loss column, he lets the accolades, he lets the success and failures speak for itself.
Right.
Whereas though you have other guys who constantly have to
they got to get their hands dirty,
placate to their fan base or to their constituents. They have to always justify something they've done. They always have to make sense of it to the people. Listen, there's some people who would rather be famous than rich.
Facts.
And look, all these guys are rich, but it's a metaphor. There's some people who would rather be known than successful.
Absolutely.
They'd rather be heard than just simply seen. It's a difference.
Bro, I love where you can kind of give it to the Cowboys. Jerry Jones had 2 Hall of Fame coaches working for him and winning for him. And both of them, he ran them off. Because he wanted to be like he got. You had Jimmy Johnson. I like Jimmy Johnson because Jimmy Johnson and people don't want to admit this, Jimmy Johnson, very similar to Nick Sirianni. I think Jimmy Johnson is a better coach, but Jimmy Johnson was a manager of talent. He wasn't calling all the X's and O's and all of that type of stuff.
He didn't call a single play, but he
was
understood. He
a
understood
manager,
people.
and he did it the best. And Jerry Jones, somebody was getting a little bit too big for their britches, so he got rid of him. Then he had Bill Parcells. I don't think Bill Parcells won a Super Bowl, but he was trending in the right direction. And I remember that. I always remember that press conference. If you want me to cook, at least let me buy the groceries. And once again, Jerry Jones was like, nope, you're getting too big for your britches, so I'm going to get rid of you. And it's like, luckily, if the Eagles as an organization was a limo, Jeffrey Lurie is the rider. He is in the back seat. He's in the couch in the back seat, relaxed, sipping his wine, watching cable TV. Howie Roseman is the driver. Lets him drive. That's the best thing about Jeffrey Lurie. Jeffrey Lurie, to his credit, from the rip, has always been hands off. Hands off does not mean you are not involved with what's going on with your squad. It doesn't mean that. It means that he puts enough thought into who he hires and enough trust to take his hands off and say, hey, I did my homework and I hired you for a reason. I'm going to let you do what you do. Now, if I see you skirting the line or if I know when I need to step in. And credit to Jeffrey Lurie, when has he had to step in? Not really, again, with the exception of Donovan and T.O. When has he ever had to step in?
Yeah, that situation took on a life of his own.
Yeah. And that's dude, you just do not see that in this day and age. Or if you're dealing with these owners that don't really do too much, are they winning? That's the other thing.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Speaking of winning, what's your thoughts on the Eagles reportedly having the 7th easiest schedule in the league this year?
Come on, man. You know me.
I
know I don't do lists.
I know.
I don't do lists because they're irrelevant. They're useless.
Because at the end of the day, what you're basing it off of is what happened last year.
Yes.
When the season starts, all that easiest and hardest schedule
goes out the door.
It does in the end of the day. It does.
And plus, you got to remember that every team, all 32 teams, are but one injury away from ruin. If the wrong person gets hurt, nicked up, it changes the whole outlook of your squad. So useless, irrelevant. It's clickbait. I know exactly what it is. You know, I don't deal with lists until at least we get to week 5.
Yeah, I know. It's just funny because when you look at the rest of the division, right? The rest of them have, like, I believe the 25th or worse or most difficult schedule. Giants apparently have the 24th hardest schedule. Washington apparently has the 25th hardest. Well, not 25th hardest, but the 29th. Washington is 25th. Cowboys 29th, which is one of the hardest schedules.
Is there a computer program that's calculating them numbers? Like, how are they getting that?
They're simply basing it off of a few parameters. They're basing it off of the win-loss record of the team in the previous season. They're basing it off of the travel, so the home and away factor. They're basing it off of whether or not it's a conference or a divisional game or interconference. Like a lot of those variables go into it. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, none of that shit matters to me because anybody can get got any given Sunday. Anybody can get got.
Yeah, anybody can get got.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, and plus, do they factor in which teams are going to get the most out of their rookies, out of their draft picks, and all of that type of stuff?
Of course not.
Yeah. So, Balderdash.
Yo, I want to transition a little bit. Did you see the Troy Aikman clip on ESPN?
Yes, okay. I did. And I thought the first thing I thought of was like, he looked like he is sick to death of talking to Greeny.
Expand on that.
He just looked like, and this is just my interpretation, the way his body language, it was almost like in the back of his mind is like, dude, you don't know shit about shit. You don't know nothing about nothing in what we do. And almost to the point where he was trying to labor, like, you already know that it's difficult to learn from a new coordinator every year after year, but y'all keep asking this question thinking it's going to be a different answer. So I thought that was funny.
What they're looking for the scathing take.
Yeah, exactly. Another reason.
And Troy Aikman was the adult in the room.
He wasn't buying it.
This is what he said, quote, about Jalen Hurts, because, you know, in the add context, if you don't know, Troy Aikman made an appearance on Get Up This Morning with Mike Greenberg. They had a one-on-one interview, basically. Jalen Hurts, the topic of Jalen Hurts came up. Jalen Hurts is going to be with his 7th offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Since what, his college days?
Yeah.
Something like that. And he's pretty much had a different coordinator every single year, minus his 2021 and 2022 seasons with Shane Steichen.
I think it's 11 if you count college. 10 or 11 if you count college.
Okay. So the conversation came up, Sean Mannion, he inherits the Eagles offense for the 2026 season and hopefully beyond. And the discussion around Sean Mannion's addition to the offense, that we're going to see a lot more passing concepts over the middle. We're going to see a lot more play action, a lot more Jalen Hurts on the center. And the narrative has always been that Jalen Hurts has an aversion to that. And I think that's always funny because Jalen Hurts has always been somebody who's made it abundantly clear, I will do whatever it takes to win.
Right.
And he's never been a guy who skated from accountability, never portrayed himself as a guy who felt like he was above reproach or above the team or above criticism. He never was a guy who came off as the one who avoids the practice field or avoids hitting the training room in the off season. Always was reported as being one of the first guys in, one of the last guys out. A respected figure in that building. But nonetheless, people have their opinions about him, and most of their opinions are coded, and it's laced with microaggressions, I guess you'll say.
Yes.
They frame it as if he doesn't have the mental capacity to learn these complex past concepts. They frame him as being someone who's rigid, unwilling to work with others, or unwilling to do what's best for the organization.
Right.
And that's the furthest from the truth. And I say all that to bring you to Troy Aikman's quote. Troy Aikman said, quote, I believe Jalen can do anything that he's asked to do. I go back to early in his career. We had them in the playoff game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was Jalen's first year as a starter. They did not play well in that game offensively. They really struggled, and they needed to be better throwing the football. And the very next year, it was remarkable the turnaround that we saw from that passing game and from Jalen Hurts. What that proved to me is he's a quarterback that puts in the time to do everything he can to be his best. And so whatever he's been challenged with this offseason, I fully expect him to come out and play the kind of football that we're accustomed to seeing him play. And that's the thing, right? Troy Aikman has covered a lot of Jalen Hurts games. He's seen Jalen Hurts play a lot of football.
Yes.
And he's also one of those voices in the box that doesn't shy away from criticizing what he's seeing. And every time I've heard Troy Aikman call an Eagles game and things are looking the way they're supposed to be looking, the first thing I've seen him criticize is no one's open. What are these concepts? What is he supposed to do with this play? What is he supposed to do with this? Like, why are these two receivers in the same area? Like, there's so many, and again, that's not me trying to have Jalen Hurts come out unscathed, he does have to wear some level of what has happened because it's a group effort.
He gets it. He catches his strays.
Yeah, it's the ultimate team sport. But the reason I don't go hard on Jalen Hurts is because it seems like a lot of people are too comfortable. They're too comfortable going at Jalen Hurts. And
they're looking for something.
What really grinds my gears about it all is that when Jalen Hurts is discussed, in particular on these platforms in Philadelphia or nationally, it comes off as if they're trying to humble him. It comes off as if they want him to just be grateful for the opportunity or grateful to just be in the position that he's in. And I'm sorry. As a brother, I'm never just going to be grateful for what's given to me. And Jalen Hurts shouldn't just be grateful because nothing was given to him. He earned his spot. He was drafted here. He was developed here. He took his lumps here. They invested in him here. They built around him here, and he won here. He did it the right way. He wasn't just a quarterback that walked into a ready-made roster and won like Sam Darnold. They give more credit to Sam Darnold. He didn't go through the mud with Seattle. He didn't go through the mud when he didn't go through the mud when he was building that roster. They give more credit to guys like Sam Darnold than they do Jalen Hurts, a guy who came into this team with the 4-11-1 season.
Yeah,
the guy
that couldn't read defenses.
The guy that couldn't read defenses, quote unquote. The guy who grinded to a 9-8 record. Then improved to a 14-3 record, who's been in the playoffs every single year of his career, a guy who's been to 2 Super Bowls, a guy who's outplayed the best quarterback of this generation in both Super Bowls he's played, and a guy who's a Super Bowl champion, 2-time NFC champion, multi-time NFC East champion, Pro Bowler, All-Pro, Burt Bell Award winner. This brother has earned everything he's gotten. And the way he's discussed in his league as if he should just be grateful. He should humble himself. He shouldn't be. He should be walking around like, "Hey, yes, sir, master. Yes, sir. I was grateful that I plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I was grateful that I got this defense that does that. I was grateful for Saquon. I was grateful. I say. I was grateful. Nah, that's how they want him to walk around.
They want to constantly remind him. They want to constantly remind him that he is a second-round pick and he was the running back playing quarterback. He's one of them ones where, why don't you try to play somewhere else when you go to the combine? Why don't you catch a wide receiver? Or, why don't you work out with the running backs? And that exists. Guys like him, like you got to tell, like same as like Lamar Jackson. Like Lamar Jackson literally had to tell the scouts, no, I am not doing that. I'm here as a quarterback because that's exactly what I am. And I say this all the time. GMs and scouts, they get paid to be the smartest guys in the room, and most times they are not. Because there was a lot of people lined up to tell you that you was wrong to take Jalen Hurts, to tell Baltimore they was wrong in drafting Lamar Jackson when they in the first round. You should have let him fall to the second. You probably could have still got him. Last man in the room. I'll never forget that. Him and his moms. Last ones in the red room on draft day. Mm-hmm. How come all of these scouts to do all of this work? How come a position that puts that much homework into it are still wrong 90% of the time?
It's an imperfect science. It's an imperfect science. They thought Ryan Leaf was going to be the guy, didn't they?
Oh, my God.
Didn't they? We saw guys like Josh Rosen drafted in the first round.
Josh Rosen, Ryan Leaf, your boy from Texas,
Colt McCoy, right?
Not Colt McCoy. What's the dude? Oh boy, that won the Heisman. What's his name? Mr. Moneybags that never went to practice.
Who, Vince Young?
No, not from Texas. From, is it Oklahoma? Where did he go to school?
Oh, Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel, thank you. That was Texas, right? Manziel was Texas.
No, he was Oklahoma. No, Manziel was it A&M? What was it?
I thought Manziel was Texas.
I thought he wasn't Texas. Manziel was A&M. Texas
Was
A&M.
it? Okay.
Mac Linehurt. That's another guy. Like, look, all I'm trying to say is not bad for a second round pick.
Bruh, right there.
But instead of putting his career in context, they want to bring him down a peg.
Right.
Because they want to bring him down a peg.
Because they want to be right.
I'm talking guys in this city that cover this team.
Let me be honest with you. I think there is more collusion around keeping somebody like Jalen Hurts down than anything else, because it makes no sense. Then you got somebody literally that's doing everything the right way.
And that's the thing. I'm glad you said it right there. Stay right there.
Everything the right way.
Guess what?
They voted him the least liked player in the league the week that he released a children's book. Really?
Because you know what that is? He's not hanging himself.
Correct.
So you know what they got to do? They got to do it for him. They got to find a way to do it. You know, you got some players in this league that you ain't got to try too hard to put their name in the mud. They're going to do it. You ain't got to try too hard. They're going to make it easy. Not Jalen Hurts, though. Clean cut, buttoned up, married, the son of 2 educators.
And a coach.
Was coached by his father. Was taught the game the right way. Was coached under Nick Saban. Right? Lincoln Riley.
Oh, what kind of car did he buy when he signed his first contract? Oh, he didn't buy a car. He paid for his sister's college tuition.
Paid for his sister's college.
All 4 years. What? Now what?
A guy who's invested in the Philadelphia school district and installed
the air conditioning
AC units in schools that needed it.
Always something. They want him to be the low hanging fruit, and they look for every reason other than, because think about it like this. Let's go. Let's step in the TARDIS. If you know, you know. Let's step in the TARDIS and go to a different dimension, right? And if Jalen Hurts, let's say he crashed out, didn't make it in the league, you know what people would say? Well, guess what? I mean, if he could win some games, maybe he would get a better opportunity. If we actually thought that a quarterback like him could get you somewhere in the playoffs, maybe they would take a chance on a guy like him. Do you really think a guy like that is going to take your franchise to the Super Bowl? Why would you take a chance on a guy like that? There's a universe somewhere where all that stuff happened, but it ain't here. And you hear that all of the time because they thought he was going to be Kyler Murray. And he's not. And he beat you, and he beat the best in the business twice. The first time they just scored a couple more points and we got a bad call at the end. But at the end of the day, when everybody was talking, I will never forget Colin Cowherd talking about on his show, Super Bowl week, talking about the Eagles might not even score. Y'all wasn't even enough professionals in your own profession to do the homework. Because you just knew that your boy Mahomes was going 3-peat. They was already talking about how they going to get this done with Pat Riley. Pat Riley's about to get paid because he on 3-peat and this, that. They was on 3-peat heaven. And it's like, you gotta play the game, right? You got a left guard who is a turnstile right now, who needs some help. And if our defense continues to play like they've been doing, they gonna wreck shop on that boy.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name? Caliendo? And what exactly happened? We ran through him like we was getting on the subway. Tokens for everybody.
Too easy.
Too easy. And all of that smack they talk, forgetting the fact that you have to play the game.
And guess what? Kansas City played the best version of their game plan they could have played. It worked out exactly they wanted it to work out.
Yep. You kept Saquon under 50.
Shut down the run game.
Mm-hmm.
Forced Jalen Hurts to throw that ball. And what did he do?
He threw the ball across the middle. He threw the ball deep. Scramble when he had to scramble.
Outside the numbers, inside the numbers, deep, right in between your eyes.
Shoulder throws, all of it.
You know, so it's just it's a funny thing,
Chris.
It's a funny thing, man. Again, I say this with the utmost confidence. If Jalen Hurts looked like Baker Mayfield, if Jalen Hurts,
he'd be out of the league.
If Jalen Hurts looked like Trevor Lawrence, they'll crown him. They'll crown him.
Or better yet, if Trevor Lawrence looked like Jalen Hurts, they'd already be putting him in the hall right now.
Like, you get what I'm saying? You give Trevor Lawrence Jalen Hurts' resume, the exact same resume, and he drafted first overall, and oh my God, he lived up to that. He first overall pick, Super Bowl champion. This is why you draft guys in the first round. Oh my God. But Jalen Hurts, on the other hand, hey, I as long as I don't mess it up, master, I'm good, right? As long as I just hand this ball off, sir, I'm good. You know, they want him to walk around meek. They want him to walk around with zero confidence, just happy to be here. They want him to walk around with this mentality of, I was blessed that I have a roster as good as the one I have. Thank you, Mr. Laurie.
Who's the quarterback that they want so bad, that the powers that be want to win a Super Bowl so bad?
Like, it's cute. Like, the guys that they wanted it to be Carson Wentz so bad.
No, but I'm talking about just in the NFL in general.
We're talking NFL. Oh, my bad. Yeah. I'm having a different. My brain is somewhere else. But
Josh Allen.
They wanted to be Josh Allen so bad.
How many times did Josh Allen beat Jalen Hurts?
None.
Goose egg, dog.
They've played what, 3 times? No, him and Jalen have faced off twice.
Mm-hmm. The man that runs like Jalen Hurts. The man that throws better than Jalen Hurts. He's got a stronger arm than Jalen Hurts. He's taller than Jalen Hurts. He got everything. He had a number 1 running back, and he still couldn't get it done.
Still couldn't get it done. Still couldn't make the one extra throw. There's something to it gets to a point where the game goes beyond just the tangibles. There's certain things that's involved with the human condition that can't be measured. There's something called a flow state. There's something called there's something called a mentality. There are guys who, quite frankly, can't get out of their own way mentally. You have boxers who are kings in the sparring gym. When they get into that ring, they just can't do it. I was watching a conversation with Shakur Stevenson and Joe Rogan. And Shakur was like, yo, there's so many boxers who I see spar, and I'm just like, yo, these guys are going to be champions, but they can't connect the dots in the ring.
It's the same way that you got these college kids that are all world in college, all world in the SEC.
It's something about those lights. It's something about those lights
that
do something to people. It's something about those lights when they get a little too bright. Something happens to the DNA. Something happens to the genetics. Something happens to the neural. Something happens to the synapses. They're not firing. Something happens. There are some guys who elevate when the lights get a little bright. There's some guys who just cannot elevate. They get a little tight in those moments. They get a tick too tight. Some guys, they thrive in the moments. Simple as that. And guess what? Josh Allen is one of the most talented quarterbacks I've ever seen play this game. He's one of the most talented guys I've ever seen with my own eyes play this game. I'm sure there have been. Listen, I didn't get a chance to see Montana play. I didn't see Marino play. I didn't see Jim Kelly play. I didn't see Doug Williams play. I didn't see Warren Moon play. I didn't see those guys. Those are legends. I've seen Josh Allen play. He knows what he's doing with it. He knows what he's doing with that football. I've seen Dak Prescott play. He knows what he's doing with that football. I've seen Justin Herbert play. He knows what he's doing with that football.
Until it matters.
Until it matters most. Justin Herbert doesn't have a playoff win. I'm not even talking about an AFC championship berth or a Super Bowl berth. He doesn't have a playoff win. And he's had good rosters. He's had good rosters.
And the only reason he beat Jalen because that was the game where he had 4 turnovers in the game. And they still almost lost. We still almost beat them.
Like, what are we talking about?
They looking for. You know what's funny? We have a unhealthy dislike of the Cowboys. The 2 people that have given the most logical, down-to-earth response about the Philadelphia Eagles has been 2 Cowboys greats, Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith.
I'll even throw Michael Irvin in there because Michael Irvin, the conversation of Jalen Hurts being on the hot seat came up. I forget what platform he was on. Michael Irvin was like, hot seat? You talking about the one Jalen Hurts, the guy who's been to 2 Super Bowls, who's won a Super Bowl, Pro Bowler, All Pro, like that Jalen Hurts? Nah. People got this sport jacked up. That's why the story coming out with Mannion and Hurts, quote unquote, hitting it off, it's still early.
Yeah,
it's it's early.
What did you think he was going to do?
And the narrative is Jalen Hurts has always resisted being challenged, and he's somebody who's on the record saying
Hurts that walked up to Nick Sirianni and said, "You know, coach, you can coach me harder."
Yeah,
that dude.
Yes.
Man, stop playing with me.
Yes. This is the guy who is on the record saying, "Yo, coach me harder. I don't need friends. I need challenges. I need somebody that's going to help me elevate my game. I don't want somebody that's going to fall into my comfort zone. Don't just do what I'm comfortable doing. Do something else." But they frame it as if, hey, they only do what Jalen wants to do. I'm not buying that.
No, ain't nobody buying it, man.
I'm not buying that.
It was nonsense. It was nonsensical, and it still is nonsensical. Because Jalen Hurts said it. Everybody in Philadelphia says it. Well, what do you want to do? When did all of a sudden? And to me, this is the biggest byproduct of the social media landscape now. Because now, for most people, the optics matter more than the results. And I'm like, y'all must be out y'all damn minds. Y'all would rather have somebody throw for 38,000 yards and never go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
But boy, could my quarterback throw that rock around. You never won anything. He don't throw the ball across the middle. Since when?
Every time I see him do it, he connects.
Correct.
The problem is they're not putting the concepts in there
as much as you want him to. Because I look at the stats on the NFL site and all of that type of stuff. Listen, numbers don't lie, but they do deceive. No, he doesn't have the best passing yards in the league, but he got the most wins. And all of a sudden, we got to this place where that wasn't important. And the people that used to say it was important act like they didn't say it. But it's only important when it's Mahomes. It's only important. It was only important when it was Brady. It was only important when it was Favre. It was important when it was Stafford.
Because your winning only matters when you do it the way they want it to be done.
They got this optics thing that if it doesn't look the way they want it to look, they ain't about it.
They're not going to
They're
give you
not
credit.
about it. And I don't get it. And I'm still, to this day, I am still waiting to hear something else about Sam Darnold winning the damn Super Bowl. Seattle won the Super Bowl. You can hear a freaking pin drop. You talking about zero excitement. The game was boring. Drake May is not as good as everybody wants him to be.
And on top of that, them losing Kubiak, the idea of their offense being the same or different, that's not even the conversation. I mean, when the Eagles lost Shane Steichen or lost Kevin Kellen, I mean, again, this just goes back to who's moving the needle in this league.
Correct. I would I would rather have Shane Steichen back than Kellen Moore.
Oh, I mean, for sure. For sure. I felt like Shane Steichen and Jalen had a real marriage of the minds.
People forget, man, and I think I've said this the last couple of weeks. The offensive line had to go to Sirianni. You had to go to his office and say, hey, we need to run the ball. This is what we do. Run the ball. Because Kellen Moore wasn't doing that. We're still trying to fit that, square peg in the round hole. And this is where my issue comes with the coaches. And this is when you can really see, is the coach worth anything or are they just all hype? Right. Can you look at your personnel and get the most out of your personnel? Or are you just trying to fit everybody in there to your system? What if your system doesn't work? What if you got the best wide receiver in the league, but you're not using him right? Shout out to Vic Fangio. You took a special teamer named Zach Bond and made him a Pro Bowler. It takes some special sauce to be able to take somebody who was languishing in the numbers somewhere else. And you understand what they're capable of doing, and you put them in a scheme that works. That's all. That's the only thing. Zach Bond is the dream of every NFL player. Every NFL player. You want to go somewhere where somebody will give you an opportunity to play, and what that coach runs benefits your style of play. He hit the jackpot. And 98% of the people, the players that make it to the league, do not. Even the good ones don't. I said this before. Tom Brady, can I even say arguably anymore? Tom Brady is the best quarterback the NFL has ever seen. I'll give him that. I don't care about Deflategate and all of that bullshit. Tom Brady is one of them ones. He's one of one. And when he had the best wide receiver ever, Randy Moss is the best wide receiver to ever play in the NFL, in my opinion. Ever. He was better than Megatron. He was all of them. Megatron may have been bigger, and you got people with different stats that may peak and valleys and all of that kind of stuff. You can argue that all day. But for my money, Randy Moss was the best wide receiver to ever come through the NFL, ever. They're not saying that receiver went up and Megatron somebody. They're not saying that. They're saying they went up and mossed him. And when Tom Brady, the best ever, and Randy Moss, the best ever, played together, they still couldn't get it done. Jalen did. It takes a little bit more than the optics. Everybody's still enamored by the optics. You better figure out how your personnel works together. You got to know your personnel. Everybody done lost fact. They done lost the sense of that. And in my opinion, a lot of that is social media because everybody wants to be on a list. Everybody wants to rank. Everybody wants to do all of this madness before you even see somebody play. I made a joke the other day, Tone, because I was watching the WNBA game. And of course, I'm an Indiana Fever fan. I'm a Caitlin Clark fan and all that kind of stuff. And she had a very mundane game.
Yeah, Paige Buchers was in her ass.
Paige, yeah, but Paige is gonna have her day too. Like, and I guess people lose. I always relate what's going on with Jalen to a lot of the stuff that happens in the W.
Okay.
Because they want it to look a certain way.
Mm.
And they don't want to. My thing is like, welcome to the mainstream, where you do the smallest amount and everybody crashes out. Paige in Dallas beat Indiana. I covered that game. Paige scored 20 points. Caitlin scored 20 points. Somebody told me, well, they went to the Caitlin Clark got most of her points on the free throw line. She went to the free throw line twice. Paige went 3 times. Paige hit 3 free throws. Caitlin Clark was 4-4. All her points didn't come from that.
Right.
The only difference is that Caitlin Clark had a bad game shooting from 3. She was 2 of 9. Paige Beckers don't shoot a lot of threes.
Yeah. She more so is,
right.
Flasher.
For
She's a flasher. For
the game, Dallas shot 52% from 3. They were shooting the lights out.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana shot 27. You ain't gonna win like that.
Right.
And the funny thing is, Dallas shot the lights out. And Indiana still had an opportunity to win the game. They only won by 3. Caitlin Clark missed the 3-pointer to take it to overtime. So in spite of all of that, they still had an opportunity to win. And you know me, when I look at it, hey, I'm already doing film study, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Stop blaming it on this offense or that offense. Ain't that what we do in the NFL? Kevin Patullo ain't getting it done. It's this, that, and the other. Player execution failure. Indiana lost that game because Dallas was hitting their shots and Indiana wasn't. It ain't the offense. Stephanie White don't set picks. Stephanie White don't get rebounds. She don't put up jumpers. Kevin Patullo don't run block. Let's keep it a buck.
You're not wrong. Look, at the end of the day, Jimmy's and Joe's, man. Jimmy's and Joe's.
Exactly. Do you want a baller or do you want a guy?
Yeah.
We got a baller. So
yeah. And to put a pin in it, because where are we? Yeah, we coming up on that. We coming up, on that hour. So the reality is, man, it's hard to win in the NFL.
Very hard.
It's really difficult to sustain success.
Say that again, Tom. I think you got to repeat that, bro.
It's so easy to fuck it up, Marcus.
Bro, this ain't Madden.
It's so easy to lose a game, so hard to win games. People think because you just put the pieces on the chessboard, that automatically makes you a good chess player. It doesn't.
No,
it doesn't. People think because you give Jalen Hurts this wide receiver, that wide receiver, this offensive line, that it's supposed to just work. No. There is a such thing called player execution. There is a such thing as being on the same page. There is a such thing as showing up when you have to show up. There is a such thing as, hey, letting your players ball. Saquon is having a phenomenal year. Jalen Hurts is like, we gonna feed that.
Absolutely.
You'll be stupid not to.
So why don't people do that?
You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, James Cook was having a phenomenal year. What happened? They fed that. And then when the playoffs came, I mean, I think he wore down towards the end of the year, personally. But the bottom line is, when you think about Jalen Hurts and what he's been gifted, as what they like to say.
Yes.
As if he just walked into the room and they all were here.
Right.
He was here before most of these guys, if not all of them. They built the team around him, his skill set. Isn't it funny how these other teams, these other quarterbacks, they love to claim what they don't have when the playoffs when the playoffs start. But in the regular season, oh man, that top 10 offense, that top 10 defense, they're going to go all the way. But as soon as they lose that playoff game, they don't have enough
excuses. They got selective amnesia, bro.
They don't have enough.
They got selective amnesia.
Come on, man. He had the number 1 rushing offense, like Jalen Hurts last year. Number 1 rushing offense.
You said it, Tone. It is. Social media got people thinking that this is easy to do. Anybody can do it.
Like people think you put Josh Allen on the Eagles or you put Herbert on the Eagles, you put Lamar Jackson on the Eagles. People think you just put them here and they win 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Correct. They do.
Even Tom Brady ain't win 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Correct, man. You got
even Mahomes ain't won 4 Super Bowls in a row.
No. And Andy Reid is a good coach. I know he know what he's doing. But in that last Super Bowl in 24, he got outmatched.
Point blank period.
They put their best foot forward and we stepped on it.
And they was motivated. They was highly motivated.
F your couch.
The motivation to redeem themselves superseded the motivation to three-peat. And I just hate how oversimplified sports talk has become. I hate how watered down it's become.
It's all hot takes.
And
what can I say that's going to get the most traffic?
There's no real dialogue in sports anymore, in my humble opinion.
Nah, it's my way or the highway. There's no more discussions. I agree 100%.
Conversations are gone. Now it's who can drive the most excitement, regardless of what they say. No one's here to really have smart sports talks. People either want to be right or they want to be loud.
Or they want to be first.
That's the currency today.
Pretty much.
Those are your 3 forms of currency in sports talk. To be right, to be loud, and to be first. And I'll leave it at that, man. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Pro Fan Talk. Coach Marcus does a phenomenal job. Make sure you guys also subscribe to Chalk It Up Sports, man. Really do appreciate the love and the support you guys provide. Stay locked in. I definitely don't take the support you guys bring here for granted. Coach, any final words?
Nah, man. We one day closer to June 2nd.
Yes, sir.
Once we get to June 2nd, we can get past all of this A.J. Brown stuff and go on to the next step. So yeah. I'm looking forward to it. And once that happens, I know true training camp is around the corner. My question is, I am efforting to get in touch with Spadero. I want to get him on my podcast again, and I want to ask him, like, how long is training camp this year?
It's a good question.
Are we losing? Did we lose another week of training camp?
I hope not.
Well,
I hope not.
If we go over
these guys barely get grass time as it is.
I know, but maybe I'm a year ahead because I think I'm a year ahead of the game because I know eventually they're gonna get the 18 games that they want, and then that's gonna be another week of training camp is gonna be nixed because now what they're gonna do is training camp is gonna be whittled down to 2 games. Because you can't play 18 games and still have 3 and 4 preseason games.
Yeah, either you're going to cut back on one of those preseason games because it's already 3, so you want to cut back to 2.
Yep, that's exactly what they're going to have to do. That they're going to have to do that, and regular season theoretically is not going to start until week 3.
Damn,
because it's still going to be a lot of shit to learn. So teams, even though there's 18 games, the first 2 weeks is preseason.
Yeah. In the NFL, 2 weeks can make or break your season.
Absolutely. And that's less time to get your rookies prepared.
That's probably how they've created such parity in this league. I mean, you know, those first few weeks allow teams who probably wouldn't have beaten certain teams to beat them. And it makes it a little bit more interesting in the long run.
Tone, we was in camp for almost 5 weeks. We played 4 preseason games. We was in camp for 6 weeks, a month and a half. And we still couldn't get everything. We still couldn't learn everything. And now you're talking about they got less than half that time.
Hmm.
And you still want rookies to, the playbooks have gotten bigger, the purse has gotten bigger, everything is bigger, and they got less time to deal with it. So, it's going to get to the point when they, I guess either next year or 28 is when they're going to go to 18 games, because it is going to happen, because the owners ain't going to turn down that money. They ain't going to turn down that money. So, but I say all that to say, I'm ready for the season, man. I'm ready to let's get to June 2nd, 12:01 a.m. I think I'm gonna be live streaming that night, because if AJ Brown's is trading, I want to be on stream when that happens.
Or Marcus, are you saying you want to be first?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh man! On that note, y'all, smash that like
first
button.
out the limo, bro.
First in the club, last one to leave.
You already know.
We appreciate y'all, man. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Profan Talk. Subscribe to Talk Up Sports. He's Marcus Thomas. I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II. This has been the Bald Eagles Podcast. And it's straight like that, y'all. Fly Eagles fly.
Go Birds.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagles swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite, from the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Blind guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, yeah, the